If you're like most business owners, you probably work all day yet still feel like there's always more to do and that you're not growing the way you want to. Well, I used to be in that exact situation, working all day, feeling stressed and overwhelmed until I fixed one specific bottleneck that holds every business back, and now I find business fun and I can grow working less than 4 hours a day. So in this video, I'm going to show you what that bottleneck is and the system I give to my 6, 7 and 8 figure clients to help them fix it so they can scale faster while working less. So what is the bottleneck holding your business back? Well, let me show you, because it's sitting right under your nose. And the best way to explain this is to imagine that you're playing chess. If you make a bad move, what happens? Well, you end up in a bad position, and if you make enough bad moves, well, you lose. But if you make good, smart, calculated moves, you end up in a good position, and if you make enough of them, you win. The game is entirely determined by the decisions that you make. If you can make better decisions, take better actions, you'll get better results. Business is no different. It is a result of the actions that you take and the decisions that you make. It is a reflection of you. Seriously, take time to think about this. If you took the actions and if you made the decisions of someone with a $10 million business, you would have a $10 million business. There is no other possible outcome. So if your business is not where you want it to be, it's because you're not doing the right things. What you have to realize is that what gets you to one level will not get you to the next level. You have to make better decisions, take better actions, build better systems, and execute at the level that you want to get to before you ever get there. That's how you get there, which means the real bottleneck is not your strategy, your show rates, your churn, your team, or anything like that. It is you. And if you're not willing to hire people that are smarter than you, then your business will always stay stuck. If you can't stick to systems, then there's no point in building systems. If you can't prioritize or focus, then you'll not do the work that matters and you will not grow. You are the bottleneck, and the only way to scale your business consistently is for you to grow. So how do you stop being the bottleneck in your business? Well, let me show you. And I figured this out back when I was running my ghostwriting agency a few years ago, because the business relied entirely on me. And I was overwhelmed, I was burnt out, I was working every hour under the sun. You know, the dream. So I started hiring contractors to do work for me, and all of a sudden I had some more time and bandwidth, but I still couldn't get the business to that next level. I tried a ton of different things and yet nothing seemed to work until I did 2 things. Then all of a sudden the business started growing what felt like overnight. So what are those 2 things? Well, the first thing you have to do is upgrade your capacity. Now, what do I mean by capacity? Well, capacity is how much output you can produce. See, you can hire the best team in the world to work in your business, but so long as you are running your business and you're the boss, its growth and progress will ultimately always be determined by you, because everything trickles down from you. So to stop being the bottleneck, you have to raise your capacity beyond the level that you want to grow to. Now, that can be a bit abstract, so let me make this clear. If you have the capacity to build $1 million per year business, but you want to get to $10 million per year, then your capacity is not enough. It is the bottleneck. So you need to raise your ability to produce more output. You need to raise your capacity so that you can get to $10 million per year. So how can we improve your capacity? Well, there's 4 steps. Let me show you step 1. And this is something almost every entrepreneur ignores, but the top entrepreneurs obsess over it. See, back when I first started hiring people in my ghostwriting agency, none of them were doing the job how I wanted it done, or to the standard I wanted. So I ended up letting a few go, rehiring and repeating this 2 or 3 times, to the point where I just started believing that nobody could do the job as well as I could, which meant I put off hiring. And when I did hire, I didn't set high standards, and that belief held me back for so long, because it meant I spent most of my time reviewing work, rewriting things and answering questions which I shouldn't have been answering. And I didn't even try to fix it for months, because a law of psychology is that you cannot act outside of what you believe to be true. You will not even try something if you don't think it's possible. So when I believed that nobody could do the job like me, I didn't even try fix it or even think it could be fixed, because I was acting in accordance to my belief. So if you want to stop being the bottleneck in your business so you can scale fast or work less, then you need to remove the limiting beliefs which are holding you back. Now, obviously your beliefs will be unique to you, but after working with hundreds of business owners, the most common limiting beliefs I see are the likes of nobody can do it as well as me. If I'm not busy, I'm not doing enough. I have no time. Working less is impossible. Business is hard. And trust me, I believed every single one of these at some point, which limited me for so long, because when you believe something, your subconscious will find ways to show you that your belief is true. For example, if you think nobody can do something as well as you will delegate without proper delegation assets. The delegation won't go well, and then you'll go, see, I knew nobody could do it as well as me. you proved yourself right. And look, I get that mindset is cliche. I get it, right? But it is fundamental. It is the core differentiator in whether you succeed or you don't. You will not succeed with a shit mindset. It's why every single successful business owner you can think of is big into mindset, whilst the people who run a business but aren't doing well just discard and ignore all mindset advice because they think that they're above it, that they're past that point. Now, there's a few systems that I do give to my clients to help them rewire their mind for long-term success, but the core principle is that you need repeated experience that disproves limiting beliefs and proves advantageous beliefs, because all a belief is a way that you see the world, which is formed through repeated experience. Hence, what you need to do is essentially identify your limiting beliefs, then create repeated experience which prove those beliefs to be false and prove new beliefs which benefit you to be true. Now, you can do this through a combination of real action and affirmations, which, before you click off, look at me, do you think I'm into woo-woo shit? I am not. This is simply psychology, okay? It is science. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. This is why placebos work. And so affirmations essentially just act as a repeated experience which shift your beliefs. It is not manifestation. You're not going to get a knock on the door and be handed $1 million in unmarked bills. Okay, that is bullshit. But rewiring beliefs to rewire the potential actions you can take and the opportunities that you will seize, that is real. Now, let me show you step 2, because this is one of the most powerful ways to increase your leverage and capacity so you can stop being the bottleneck in your business. And the best way to explain this is, imagine you have two business owners. You have person A who works 10 hours a day, who does 30 tasks and is super busy. You then have person B on the other hand who works 4 hours a day and does 3 tasks. Who do you think grows faster? Well, it depends on what they're working on, doesn't it? Because what if all 30 tasks that person A does are in the business tasks, not on the business tasks? Well, then the business does not grow. I mind a few years ago, I first heard the phrase working in the business, and it didn't really make sense to me because I thought, sure, that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to work in your business. But that's when a mentor of mine at the time said that if you're working in the business, that means you don't have a business, you have a job. And I sat there and I thought, what the fuck does he mean by that? Then I realized, as a business owner, you can either work in the business or you can work on the business. And when you look at the best business owners, they make it their mission to get out of the business so that they never have to work in it and they only work on it. Why? Why is working on the business so important? Well, it's because tasks that are considered working in the business are tasks that run the business. They do not grow it no matter how much you do. While tasks that are considered working on the business grow the business, even if you only work 4 hours a day or less. You need to realize that what you work on is far more important than how much you work, because as a business owner, your job is not to do everything, okay? It's not to work in the business. That's what you hire people for. Your job is to work on the business, to do the select few tasks that create growth. Like, let's say all 30 tasks that person A does are in the business work. They run the business, but they don't grow it. Then from the lens of their role as a business owner, all that work is pointless because it's lower value. Hence, it should have been delegated to someone else, while their time was spent on what was higher value and actually grew the business. So the 3 tasks that person B do are all important, valuable, and on the business. They'll grow infinitely more than person A, and they're doing what their role in the business is meant to do, despite them doing a fraction of the amount of hours. So how can you work on the business? Well, really it comes down to prioritizing. And the main thing though with prioritization is that you do what is most important first, because it is most important. But what's most important? Well, that depends on your goal, because your goal is the filter through which you judge the efficacy of tasks. If your goal is to grow, then your most important task has to be the task that will help you grow the most. But if your goal is to reduce how much your business relies on you, then your most important task is one which removes how much your business relies on you. So to prioritize, you need to set a goal. Time frame does not really matter, but a 1-year goal does make this easy. Then you reverse engineer your goal down into roughly 3 rocks for each quarter. These are essentially projects or actionable outcomes you can achieve each quarter that add up to your goal over the year. You then break those rocks down into steps. Then you prioritize those steps each day, because as you complete each step, you get closer to completing each rock and achieving your goal. Now, prioritization does depend on your business and your team. For example, if your main goal is to grow, but you've got no marketing team, then marketing should be your top priority, as that's how you get leads to then get sales to grow. So if you don't do marketing, you don't get leads, you don't get sales, you don't grow, right? But if you do have a marketing team who can do your marketing work for you, then your priority will likely be around some rock or goal for the quarter, some sort of strategic action. Now, Let me show you step 3. And this is how you make time for those important tasks, no matter how busy you are. So look, your business is a result of what you do. And what you do is a result of how you spend your time. Revolutionary, I know, right? But I get that that sounds simple, stupidly simple, but it's true. If you can't manage your time, you can't manage what you do. And so you will always be the bottleneck in your business. Now, when it comes to managing time, the main thing, and I mean the main thing, is that you follow a bloody schedule that is structured with your most important tasks first. For example, if your marketing task is content, and that is your most important task, then you do your content, your marketing task first. If the next step of your rock is your second most important task, you do it second. It is simple, but that is what you need to do. And if you find that you never have time for important work and that you're always busy, then you need this, okay? This is non-negotiable, and it's not because it's magic. All a schedule is you predetermining how you will spend your time so that you can spend it in the most effective way, which you cannot do if you wing it. And if you can't stick to a schedule, I have a tool that I will show you in just a minute to help you fix that. But really, that is not the schedule's fault. That is your fault. That's a discipline issue. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, schedules never work for me, I can never stick to them, I do better without them, guess what that is? That is a limiting belief, my friend, and it is holding you back. And if you're arguing with me in your head right now, guess what? That's even more proof that it is a limiting belief and you need to remove it. I am being serious, right? Now I have a tool that I give to clients to help them with this. So if you click the link in the description below, you'll be able to get it and you'll be able to fix your schedule problem forever. So I'd recommend checking that out. But let me show you step 4. This is the most underrated skill that a business owner can build, because see, at a certain point in business, the most important thing that you can do is just make better decisions. Decisions are how you choose what to focus on, what to prioritize, who to hire, what systems to build, what to delegate, what to keep, what to market, how to manage cash flow. They're how you decide everything. And if you want to run a good business, you need to make good decisions and consistently improve your decision-making process, because as you grow, your decisions become more and more important, more and more impactful. So we want them to get better over time. Now, everybody has their own way of making decisions and their own frameworks that they develop that work for them over time. But in business, the easiest and best way to make better decisions is to learn how to use data. So first, you need to learn how to track it. Then you need to start tracking it. Then you need to learn how to read it, analyze it, and make decisions based on it, because data doesn't lie and it will lead you in the right direction if you learn how to use it. But even with that, say if your entire business runs through you, where you do everything, you answer every question, you review every task, and it all relies on you to keep moving forward, well, you're always going to be the bottleneck no matter how high your capacity is. And the only way to fix that so your business can scale faster while you work less is to build systems. So if you want to learn how to build systems so your business can run without relying on you, click the video on screen now and I'll show you exactly how to do it.